Another one. Well, I don't need that anymore. Fuel pump. My beautiful Notice Gen X Pro. My bike carbs. An inlet manifold. I can't use any of it.
Your head is full of dreams. Tears are a proof of failure. You just gotta let them flow without judge. There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust.
Hi there guys, welcome to another episode. As you can see in the beginning of this video, I've made a massive cock up. Problem is, I haven't read the rules. I just took for granted that I could fit an engine in the car, I could put carburetors on it, an ECU, and then just start the car up, take it to the MOT, and that's it. Well, as it turned out, it's not like that in Sweden. Somebody did mention to me in a comment, I think below one of my YouTube videos, about getting it through the MOT in Sweden. I didn't really pay much attention to it at the time, but after a while it kind of was playing on my mind, and I went back and I had a look what the problem was, or at least what the discussion point was. And basically the rules are pretty clear, to be quite honest. Alice here counts as an amateur built vehicle. Now with that there comes rules for things, and one of them is, if I build a car, as I was planning with this one, without a catalytic converter, so I need to get a piece of paper signed by Ford somewhere telling me that that engine is okay for the emissions test. Now the body that does all these rules and regulations in Sweden, even they say that piece of paper is difficult, if not impossible, to get hold of. So building a car without a catalytic converter is going to be pretty much impossible. So that means that the carbs, as you saw in the beginning, have to go. So I'm now left with, what do I do? And I've done what I should have done from day one, and I've now rung the people that do the inspections on this car before it goes for an MOT and asked them, what do I do now? And basically they said, yeah, you can't fit carburetors in Sweden. That's just how it is, and it's all to do with emissions, so can't do it. So I've had to take off the manifold, I've had to take off the carbs, I've had to take off the fuel pump, and I've had to take off the ECU. So that's that. So the question was then, where do I go from here? I'm a bit stuck. So talking to the guys and reading up on the rules, so I can fit an engine from a zetec like this one, but it needs to be with an injection system, it needs to have a catalytic converter, and it needs to have lambda sensors fitted to it. So that leaves me now with, the hell do I do with this now? Well, the solution really is get all the parts needed. Basically the rules are, it's got to be an injection from a zetec engine, it's got to have the original ECU, it can't have an aftermarket ECU. With this being an amateur built vehicle, it means it now has to run on E85 as well. So this is going to be a Ford Fiesta Mark 1 2-litre zetec with E85 on injection. Now it's not a massive problem as such. The conversion is fairly straightforward, to be quite honest. Basically what I need to do is get all the injection system off of probably an Escort, a later Escort, a 94, 95 Escort, something like that. Basically if I can find an Escort with a zetec engine in it, that's the best thing. If I can't, I need to find one with a CVH engine in it. If I find one with a CVH engine, I need to get adapter plates. I then need to get an ECU to run it all, and I need to get a catalytic converter and lambda sensors. So that's it. Dead simple. Not quite as simple as I was hoping, but what I'm basically going to do now is take a trip off to the scrapyard and see what I can get hold of, basically. Right, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. It's dark, but that is the EFI unit that I want, and it wasn't the Escort that I looked at the other day when I was here, but it's better because this is a zetec one, which means that that manifold will fit straight onto my car. It's also the 1.8 litre engine, so I would imagine the injectors aren't that much different to the 2 litre, so let's get unscrewing that then, shall we?
2 hours later.
But these are the parts I've got hold of. Now, I had a look, as you could see when I got there, that the engine that was there in that Escort was a zetec engine, which means that it comes with this adapter plate. This side of the adapter plate fits straight onto the zetec engine, and the other side of it bolts up to the intake, which I believe fits straight onto a CVH engine, I believe. So this is an adapter plate. It also has the holes for the injectors in there as well. So if you just get that off of a CVH engine, a later one or an earlier one, then you will need to get hold of an adapter plate. You can buy these from places like Dan ST Engineering. I'll put a link underneath to those parts. You can get them. In my case, I've saved myself a bit of effort by getting this one off of it, and I don't need to get that plate. So that is the first adapter plate. The next part is the inlet manifold itself. So you've got the throttle body here, and you've got the inlet manifold there. So basically that's what brings the air in through there, mixes it all up, and then puts it into the chamber ready to mix with the fuel. Next along, we've got a fuel rail. These are the injectors on it. I'm not sure about these injectors. I'm sure somebody will probably tell me if I need to change these injectors for 2 litre injectors. I'm not sure. If I do, please write a comment, let me. I also took the wiring loom for the injectors. Don't make the mistake I made and only take one half of that connector. I had to go back and get the other half of it. So you need both the halves of that connector. I also took the inlet. Now that goes on there like that. On the end of that pipe then is the mass airflow sensor. So I've got that as well. Now that fits like that. That end of it fits onto the air filter box. I could have taken the air filter box with me, but I didn't want to. I thought it looks a bit ugly, so I'll probably put like a cone filter on that, it's just basically filter the air, so I don't need that. After that, a bit more electronics. We've got the coil pack wire. Now this is to the coil. The other connectors I don't think are needed. And the one more important thing there is the ECU and the ECU wiring. Now while I was at the scrapyard the first time, I cut the plug off of the ECU that was fitted to the Mondeo. There's a Mark 1 Mondeo 2 litre zetec. Problem with it was, I believe it has PATs on it, in which case it's got PATs, which is the anti-theft system. It's got 4 rows of pins on there. It's a 100 pin connector. Now the ECU that I've got is for non-PATs, and that has only got 3 rows. So you can see the problem there. I've not got the right connector.
Tomorrow.
Right, so when I was here last time picking parts up, there's a Mark 1 Mondeo over there, and I took the contact for it from the ECU, hoping it was going to be right, and it wasn't. It's a 4-row pin, 4-row contact. So I'm hoping that the Escort here that I took the injection parts off of has got the correct amount of rows on the ECU, and hopefully I'll be able to take the piece off of that. So we're going to find an ECU in there now and see if it's got the right amount of pins on it. This is the ECU that came out of the Escort skin, so it's no good for me because this car's got pats on it, so I don't want that. What I do want is this cable, so you can see my ECU there, Dewey, and I've undone the contact here and I've test fitted it, so it actually does plug into this and it works. So I now need to cut off as much of that cable as I can find back there, and then I can take that cable with me. So that is now the last piece, hopefully, of the puzzle. So let's get chopping. Right, so that is cut off, I don't know, 20-30 centimetres, something like that. Bit of a bonus was that that was attached to it as well, the cable. So that is for the OBD output on it, so that came with it. So yeah, I might as well keep that. I might be able to connect it up to the computer or something, don't know, but I'll take it anyway and try it. 2 earth cables that I cut off, so they're coming with me. There's another cable there, not really sure what that does, but I'll pull all that cable off later and I'll sort it all out when I get back to the workshop. So right now, got the last piece of the puzzle and it's coming with me. Now there is a wiring guide to wiring in all of these wires, because obviously there's a lot more wires than what there was for just a simple ECU from Motorsport Electronics. So basically I need to get a few more fuses, I need to get a couple of relays, and then I'll be able to take out the wires I need, connect it all together and connect it back together with the and make a new loom that fits that. Right, I'm going to roll this video up right now. I've had about 4 trips to the Scrapyard this week. I forgot all different kind of sensors and cables and throttle cables, that sort of thing. So I've been and picked them up. Luckily enough, the Scrapyard's fairly local and I've been able to get that. So I want to say a massive thank you to Canton's Bil di Montering here in Luleå, that has had the car there and has put up with me running forward and backwards, picking sensors and bits and bobs up. I'll put a link to their homepage down below. Right, so in the next video, I am going to try and put all this lot together. I'm going to clean everything up because everything's a bit dirty right now. So clean everything up, put it all together, and then I'm going to start doing some wiring, I think. In the future, I'm going to have to make a part 4 of the ultimate guide to fitting a zetec in a Mark 1, Mark 2 Fiesta, because, well, now I've got to put injection to it that I wasn't planning on, but now I'm going to have to do that. So keep your eyes looking out for that one later. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen in the video. If you want to see more, press that subscribe button. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot, and bye-bye.